Welcome back to my channel, Saving with Christina. Today I want to share some things with you from my own personal experience, as well as what I think are 10 solid tips for saving money. Since many of you don't know me, let me give you just a really quick background. I am a planner. That comes very naturally for me. I also consider myself to be fairly financially savvy. So over a decade ago, I decided that I wanted to start saving money more intentionally. And since that time, not only have I been able to save a substantial amount of money, but I actually purchased my current home in cash. I tend to refer to that collectively as my financial journey, which of course I am still on, but I feel like I'm starting to get to that next phase of the journey where I feel like I can start to share some of my knowledge and experiences with other people to help them achieve their own financial goals. I realize that I am hopefully speaking to a broad audience, and you will likely be in very different stages of your own personal financial journey. But the tips that I'm going to share with you today are things that I did that I found to be particularly helpful as I went about saving money and spending less. Some of the things I talk about might be new to you, some may not. You may literally know all of this already, but really appreciate hearing it again. That way you feel more supported and motivated toward achieving your own financial goals. I'm not gonna lie, I had a really hard time narrowing down this list to just 10 different tips for saving money, but I had an even harder time knowing which order to talk to you about them in. But here goes. Number 1. Understand your why. Why do you want to save money? Or why do you want to get in a better place financially? Really sit down and spend some time thinking about what your motivation is for wanting to be in a different place financially than you are now. It might be to retire early, to travel more, to save for a specific purchase, or maybe you want to give your children a different life than you had growing up. There's no wrong answer unless it's not your answer. So once you sit down and really spend some time thinking about why you want to be in a better place financially, write that answer down. And yes, that answer may change and develop and grow over time, but I want you to write that down because when things get tough, you can go back to that reason as a way to motivate you to keep going. So what was my why? Well, I already knew that more money was not going to equal more happiness or even happiness at all. My why is I wanted options. I wanted the financial freedom and the options that that financial freedom would provide for me. Money saving tip number 2, know where your money is going. This step is absolutely crucial. You have to know where your money is going. So what I want you to do is write it all down, and I mean every single penny. So what I would encourage you to do is do that for at least 3 months. I honestly did this for years before I stopped writing every penny down. Since it can be overwhelming to try to remember where you spent your money, I suggest you take a few minutes at the end of each day to make sure every single penny you have spent is written down somewhere, because that is the only way you are going to get a very accurate picture of where your income is going day to day and month to month. And what a lot of people realize, and what I realized myself many, many years ago, is that I was eating my income. Money saving tip number 3, create a budget. Don't like the word budget? Call it a plan, because that's what it is. It is a plan on paper for where you want your money to go. And in step 2, we looked at where your money has been going. Now we want to create a plan for where you want your money to go. This step should actually feel pretty empowering because you get to choose where your money is going. And yes, we have to start out with the needs first, but what you'll likely realize is there aren't that many legitimate needs. Things like food, shelter, perhaps transportation, utilities. Those are things that you need. Pretty much everything else are things that we want or prefer to have. So as a planner, budgeting is totally my jam. I loved making a plan on paper for where my money was going to go. and then watching that money actually go to those places and my savings start to build up. So in my budget, I actually have line items for savings categories, whether it's college savings for my child or saving for a vacation or saving money to invest. You can actually create line items in your budget for savings categories as well. I plan to eventually do an entire budgeting series on my channel, but here's the thing, it does not have to be fancy. Write it out, type it out, put it on a napkin, whatever works for you, but start with your income. This is how much money I make each month. And then start with your needs. These are the things I absolutely have to spend money on. My rent costs this much. Utilities are on average this month. And start to write down all of the expenses you currently have. You already saw in the last step where your money was going, so use that as a baseline for how to allocate money in your budget. So if you saw in the last 3 months you've spent an average of $50 on a certain need, you can pretty much guarantee that that needs to be $50 in your budget. If you spend an average of $200 at the grocery store each week, you need to make sure you are budgeting the appropriate amount as you're preparing your new budget for where you want your money to go. Be realistic and then be open to changing that budget over time. Saving tip number 4, you have to spend less money than you make. Yeah, I get it. It sounds super simple because it is super simple. It's just a little bit harder for some people to actually execute. But the concept is simple. If we want to save money, we are going to have to spend less money than we earn. So in the last step, you created a budget. You have a plan for where you want your money to go. You've looked at your income, you've looked at your expenses. Now, at the end of that budget, if your expenses exceeded your income, you have a problem. You either need to earn more money or spend less money, and likely a combination of both of those. Because personal finance is in fact personal, it's hard to give blanket advice related to how to spend less. You really have to look at your own spending habits to know where you can start spending less and how to best do that for you. For example, if you're a shopper, you are obviously going to need to avoid going shopping in order to spend less money. Now, on the other hand, earning more money. Start to think about creative ways to increase your income. This might be getting a second job. It might be getting a different job. It might be bartering with friends. You have a specific skill set. They have a specific skill set. You can start trading those skills with your friends or with your family, or even marketing that skill set for additional income. Super good at math. Tutor kids in the neighborhood. If you know how to play piano, give piano lessons. Pretty much any skill you have, you can find a way to monetize if you really want to do so. Another option you might consider in creating more income is selling stuff you have that you don't need anymore. I know I've had quite a bit of luck selling items on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace, but it's a great way to get a little bit of additional income each month. Saving tip number 5, every dollar matters. So I went back and forth on whether I wanted to include this tip in this video, but ultimately I decided yes, and here's why. When I'm talking to people, friends, family, strangers on the street about saving money, I often hear people say, oh, well, it was only $1, or it was only $2, or, oh my gosh, I found these pants and they were $6. I had to buy them. Awesome. I love me some $6 pants. But if you do not have the $6, don't buy the $6 pants. Every single penny you spend matters when you are trying to get into a different habit of spending less and saving more. And those little $1, $5, $10 purchases add up over time and end up costing you more money than you want to be spending on items that you didn't really need and maybe didn't even really want. So make sure you are looking at every single dollar you spend and go back to your why when you are encountering a time where you're trying to decide if you want to spend money. So if I'm shopping around and I am getting super hungry and I see there is a Starbucks and I want to grab a Starbucks coffee because it sounds really good, maybe I think back to my why. Hey, I decided I wanted to save money because I really want to be able to take that vacation next year. And so then I have to weigh my preference. Do I want this coffee now more than I want that vacation then? And if the answer is no, it helps me to pass up the immediate gratification of something I want now to get me to that longer term, more important goal of what I'm saving for. Money saving tip number 6, eat at home. Like I said before, many people realize when they start writing down what they spend money on is that they are eating their income. They are spending tons of money either going out to eat or on convenience type foods because they weren't prepared and they end up out and hungry and they have no other options than to go hungry or buy something while they're out. So start making and eating your meals at home, especially if you're on a tight budget or you're just starting your financial journey. This one tip alone can save you hundreds of dollars each month, and it's likely a healthier option than going out to restaurants or fast food restaurants all the time. So not only are you saving money, but you're also starting to live a little bit healthier life as well. But Christina, I have no idea where to start. I don't cook. Okay, totally fair, and that's okay. There are tons of free resources that can help you figure out how to make inexpensive meals at home. I actually have a couple different videos right now that you could check out. One is a $5 dinner video. The other is 21 meals for $20. So a week's worth of meals for just $20. I can link both of those in the video description box for you. There are lots of resources out there that can help you figure out how to shop for and then make quick, cheap, healthy meals at home. Saving tip number 7, never shop hungry. So this is actually a 2-part tip, and I'm totally not kidding. Don't go grocery shopping when you are hungry. I know for me personally, I always spend way more money when I shop when I'm hungry because I want food and everything starts to sound good. So I just buy more things. The second part of this tip, and maybe even more helpful part, is shop with a grocery list. So don't just walk into the store and buy things. Make a plan, kind of like our budget, make a plan for your meals on paper and then go to the grocery store and just buy those items. If you can get away with not taking your children to the grocery store with you, that might also save you a little bit of money. Saving tip number 8. Choose your friends wisely. You might have heard that you tend to become like the people that you spend time around. So if you are on a new journey to save money or be more financially savvy, you might need to add some new friends to your friend circle. I'm not suggesting you have to get rid of your friends and get all new ones, but if all of your friends always want to go out and spend money and go out to eat or go shopping, you're going to be very tempted to spend money when that is not your ultimate goal right now. When I was first starting out, I found it incredibly helpful to have people around me that had similar financial goals. Kind of like having a workout accountability partner. You know, someone to check in. Hey, how was your workout today? Or did you eat any junk today? You didn't sit on the couch and eat cookies, right? It's the same kind of concept, but with your financial health. You're trying to get in a better place financially. You want people around you that can encourage you, support you, motivate you. People who might check in on you and say, hey, you didn't go shopping this week, right? How's it going with your financial goals? And if you can't find those people in real life, you might look for online support groups. I know for me, when I started, I found it incredibly helpful to listen to other people's stories of saving money because it was so relatable to what I was going through. I got to listen to how they overcame struggles. I got to listen to the fact that they went from A to Z, they survived and they did it. So if you're looking for support, I'm happy to be a support person for you as well. Drop me comments below. Tell me the things that are struggles for you. Tell me your goals. Tell me when good things happen. I would love to cheer you on when good things happen and help you through some of the struggle times, just to give you a word of encouragement, because it is possible to get in a better place financially than you are today. Tip number 9, know your local resources. I know in my city, there are a lot of free activities, free resources that are available to community members. For example, we've had free fitness classes in the park. We have free health screenings at local grocery stores. The library, of course, has tons of free resources, kids activities. Of course, you can check out books or rent DVDs, free internet at the public library. Each city will have different resources of their own. You just need to start looking into those things and asking around, talking to people. If you visit your doctor, say, hey, do you know of any free health screenings? If I want to pop in and get my blood pressure checked or my cholesterol checked, is there a place that I can go and do that in between appointments for free? Start asking people and letting them give you ideas. My last tip is probably my favorite tip, and I repeat it to myself often. It's small, healthy habits repeated over time lead to big results. So let me repeat that one more time. Small, healthy habits repeated over time lead to big results. This is not something that is going to magically change overnight. Kind of like trying to lose 20 pounds or get in better shape, right? You don't go from not working out and not eating healthy to being a fitness expert in one day, right? It's small habits repeated over time that get us to where we want to be. And finding that motivation in the in-between time is where the struggle is, right? So know that if you are doing these things, if you are watching where your money is going, if you are planning where you want your money to go, if you're not spending frivolously, if you're going back to your why and understanding why you want to be in a better place financially than you are right now, that should help you continue these small habits over time to get you to that better place ultimately. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have found these tips to be helpful. If you have questions or comments, don't hesitate to drop me a comment down below. I hope that this is just the start to a very successful financial future for you. Thanks.